So they've done it. OpenAI has cracked the code to create some of the most realistic generated video content ever seen up until now. Imagine typing a description like this one here. Several giant woolly mammoths approach treading through a snowy meadow, and then a video appears giving you exactly that. That's the astounding power of OpenAI's new text-to-video model called Sora. Some of the videos we're going to show you, like this one, where a stylish woman walks down the Tokyo street, is just hard to believe they were generated by AI. This is truly an amazing accomplishment. We're going to go through some examples of what they've created, how long these videos are compared to other technologies like Pika and Runway, how they're doing it, and what this means for all of us who create video. Stay through to the end and we'll see what they have in store for us next, so let's check it out. Okay, look, the reflection in her sunglasses, the perfect imperfections in her skin. Sora is truly going to unlock a world of visual storytelling if this first look is a hint of what's actually going to come for all of us. From marketers wanting to grab attention on social media, to educators needing fresh visual aids, and even amateur filmmakers, anyone can translate ideas directly into moving images. Let's check out how it works. Sora builds on the groundbreaking work of other image generation techniques using a diffusion model and expanding this model into the realm of motion. You can think of it like this. Sora begins with pure visual noise akin to TV static. Over many steps, guided by your text description, it refines that noise. Like a sculptor methodically chipping away at unwanted parts of his block of marble, details sharpen, colors emerge, and movement takes shape until, frame by frame, a full-fledged video unfolds. Similar to language models like GPT, Sora utilizes an architecture called a transformer that allows it to process text inputs holistically and grasp the relationships between words and concepts, as well as how things move and work in the real world. Like, this is so lifelike. The movement, the textures, the lighting, and the bird's eye. If you saw this on someone's social media, you'd think they pulled out their cell phone and shot it at the zoo. To build Sora, OpenAI tapped into a massive data set of videos paired with descriptions. By analyzing how words translate and map onto motions and visual elements, Sora essentially mastered the grammar of video. And it doesn't stop there. Imagine trying to animate ocean tides moving in, or waves crashing onto the rocks, or seagulls flying through the air if you don't understand concepts like gravity or how muscles work. Sora incorporates a physics model of the real world, which grants its creations a sense of realism. Objects have weight, lighting is consistent, and movement and interactions feel natural. This scene at Big Sur could easily be footage that someone shot from their drone last week. Up until now, text-to-video tech could offer only very short clips, mere seconds long. Sora has burst free from that limitation. Videos can last up to a minute. This lets Sora depict full scenes with character development, shifts in location, and complex action sequences. It's truly transitioning from quick animations to short movie creations. Sora is still under development, but the path forward is thrilling. OpenAI hints at longer videos, the ability to seamlessly stitch scenes together, and even tailoring videos to a specific audience or mood. Imagine interactive children's books where words on the page come to life, or ads that personalize themselves for each viewer. The possibilities for creation, innovation, and even how we understand information are just starting to unfold. Just look at how well the light casts a reflection onto that little critter's hand. That is so awesome. OpenAI's Sora has propelled us into an era where ideas truly dance on the screen. For filmmakers, Sora brings a shift similar to the one pioneered by innovators like Edward Muybridge, who first studied animal motion to inform early cartoons. This gives us some scope for how disruptive Sora may be. With further development, will we one day just text entire movies, with scripts being the input prompts and feature films magically popping out on the other side? Video production is often time-consuming and expensive, especially in mediums like animation or in films where special effects require a lot of time-consuming CGI work. Sora definitely democratizes creativity. Imagine a scriptwriter who couldn't afford to hire a whole film crew, or a teacher crafting custom visual explanations for every lesson. With text as your storyboard, the barriers to visual expression are crumbling. Who is going to create the next Pixar or DreamWorks? Of course, this opens up the question of authenticity. As technology makes it easier to generate media, OpenAI is exploring advanced digital watermarking, letting viewers check if a video came from Sora or an actual camera. We'll keep an eye on these and other safeguards as Sora advances. OpenAI has shared some dazzling demonstrations of Sora's abilities so far. They've generated everything from historical recreations, like the woolly mammoths foraging in their snowy ice age like we saw at the beginning, to more lighthearted scenes like a tiny dwarf raking the sand in a Zen garden snow globe. So Sora isn't just limited to photorealistic generations. What a crazy kangaroo is disco dancing for an audience full of fluffy friends? Absolutely, Sora can make it happen. Sora represents a ginormous leap forward from the image generation models that have captured our attention over the last year, like OpenAI's own DALL-E. Remember how DALL-E could craft an image from something as whimsical as a pixel art knight battling a fire-breathing dragon? That seems quaint compared to what Sora can do. Now you can have pirate ships that battle it out into a coffee cup ocean. You can see here some of the inconsistencies in the edge of the cup closest to the camera, where it doesn't quite hold its shape consistently, but OpenAI has acknowledged some of the shortcomings that this model has, being as relatively new as it is. OpenAI says on the Sora website, "The current model has its weaknesses. It may struggle with accurately simulating the physics of a complex scene and may not understand specific instances of cause and effect. For example, a person might take a bite out of a cookie, but afterward, the cookie might not have a bite mark. The model may also confuse spatial details of a prompt, for example, mixing up left and right, and may struggle with precise descriptions of events that take place over time, like following a specific camera trajectory." Here's another example with the prompt, a beautiful homemade video showing the people of Lagos, Nigeria in the year 2056, shot with a mobile phone camera. You can just see the amount of camera movement here, and as the camera pans around, just look at all of the lighting. The sun, the shadows, everything is just incredible. The amount of detail is absolutely remarkable. All the characters seemed really consistent throughout, from the crowd scene with just a ton of people to the group that the camera shows a close-up of in the marketplace. Here's a scene with the prompt, historical footage of California during the gold rush. And what I thought was really great was that, because it's supposed to be historical footage from the gold rush days, the video looks like it was shot with some old school Super 8 camera or something from way back to give it that much more of an old-timey look. I mean, this is just so cool and realistic. Okay, this one is really good for a couple reasons that I'll explain in a second after we go through the whole prompt, which is, the camera follows behind a white vintage SUV with a black roof rack as it speeds up a steep dirt road surrounded by pine trees on its steep mountain slope. Dust kicks up from its tires, the sunlight shines on the SUV as it speeds along the dirt road, casting a warm glow over the scene. The dirt road curves gently into the distance with no other cars or vehicles in sight. The trees on either side of the road are redwoods with patches of greenery scattered throughout. The car is seen from the rear following the curve with ease, making it seem as if it's on a rugged drive through the rugged terrain. The dirt road itself is surrounded by steep hills and mountains with a clear blue sky above with wispy clouds. First of all, for such a detailed prompt, Sora managed to get pretty much all of the details in there. Also, because the vehicle is moving up this road, the sheer amount of scenery that had to be generated for this 20-second clip is just mind-blowing. The road, the mountains on the right side, the steep drop down the hillside to the left, and the sky and the clouds in the distance, it's all just mind-blowing. This one would have been cool as a looping video, and the reflections and the lighting and the motion are all just so great and so unbelievably accurate to someone just watching this at first glance. This is another clip that could easily look like it was shot with someone's cell phone camera. OpenAI seems like they keep getting great results with the aerial view scenes. The camera angles and the rotation, the lighting, the consistency of the people down below, right down to their movements and the shadows they cast. This is just so beyond it. It's hard to stop saying that, but it's like Sora came from a different planet than all of the other video generation models. Here we've got a king crab that seems like it's getting ready to attack the octopus. I'm not sure what it thinks it's going to do with that much octopus, but the physics of the scene underwater and the surroundings, all just fantastic. Here's a flock of paper airplanes, all flying in a shared direction, like a flock of birds migrating south for the winter. This is the video clip that OpenAI is using at the top of the Sora website. Again, the physics and composition just look really great. So this cat, and I'll tell you, something I didn't catch the first time through, but did when I watched it again. So the cat puts its left paw on her nose, and then goes to lift up its front right paw, which actually slides over and becomes the left paw, replacing the original left paw, and then you can see another front right leg down there on the covers. Here we've got some Borneo wildlife on the Kinabatangan River. Absolutely beautiful. And here's an incredible number of really well-rendered people in this Chinese Lunar New Year's scene. Here's another scene with people moving, but what's incredible here, as the camera zooms down closer to the people, is that if you look to the right of the two closest people walking, right above the shelving that acts as sort of a snow cover for all the food items in the stands next to them, but below the red awning, you can see the incredible amount of detail in the kitchen in that building, and the couple of people in there as well. It's just a fantastic amount of imagination and rendering that's taking place here to get such a realistic looking and also realistic feeling scene. There's just nothing like this out there anywhere so far. And we've got a robot in a scene that looks like it could be straight out of the Cyberpunk 2077 video game. Definitely has that video game vibe going on there. You've got some NPCs hanging out on the side. I could see video game companies taking advantage of this technology to create some really cool games and assets in a much shorter time frame than they do now. So the Sora website also has a handful of videos that show some of the shortcomings of the Sora model, and if you want to check those out, I'll have a link in the description below, which is right below those great little like and subscribe buttons. So if you like this video, please let YouTube know by giving those a tap. And hey, are there other AI products or companies that are hot on your mind that you want to get fresh information about? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Now, of course, Sam Altman and OpenAI's official Twitter/X accounts both had things to say about Sora. Sam was actually taking a few requests for things that people wanted to see generated in videos, and he put up a few examples of those before he called it a night. So here are a few of those, and then we'll also see what Sam and OpenAI has to say about OpenAI going forward this year. Kunal Shah wanted to see a bicycle race on ocean with different animals as athletes riding the bicycles with drone camera view. Kate Bly wanted to see an instructional cooking session for homemade gnocchi hosted by a grandmother social media influencer set in a rustic Tuscan country kitchen with cinematic lighting. FX Chervescent wanted to see 2 golden retrievers podcasting on top of a mountain. I'm not sure what they're talking about, but it looks like they're having a lovely time. Kiri said, well, okay, a futuristic drone race at sunset on the planet Mars. That looks like it would be a pretty cool video game. Matt Schlicht requested, a half-duck, half-dragon flies through a beautiful sunset with a hamster dressed in adventure gear on its back. Somehow, the duck dragon is flying backwards. Deep Thrill wanted a street-level tour through a futuristic city which in harmony with nature and also simultaneously cyberpunk/high-tech. And Muppet Doug Burgum wanted a wizard wearing a pointed hat and a blue robe with white stars, casting a spell that shoots lightning from his hand and holding an old tome in his other hand. On heading into the coming year, Sam reposted a tweet from OpenAI that said, "We're testing ChatGPT's ability to remember things you discussed to make future chats more helpful. This feature is being rolled out to a small portion of the free and plus users, and it's easy to turn on or off." We've also got a link in the description that'll take you to the details on that bit of information too. Sam also tweeted, "OpenAI is the most talented and nicest group of people I have ever seen in one place, working on the hardest, most interesting, and most important problems, with all the key resources in place. Extremely focused on making AGI. You should perhaps consider joining us." So, not only are they super focused on making AGI a reality, which earlier, Sam told people who had asked that he's not really seeing that as a reality for 2024, but they're actively looking for bright and talented people to help them achieve these goals. It'll sure be interesting to see everything they have in store for us this coming year. So thanks for stopping by, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.